All right, guys, we're here at the Rebuild Rescue Hangar with Project Phoenix, with the 401. We have a ton of stuff to do today. We're gonna get this green primer off the top and the left side of the fuselage. We're gonna remove the side windows, get it ready for paint, and make sure that we can reseal those. We're gonna pull out the trailer out from underneath so we can strip the paint on the bottom of it. We gotta patch the nose on the right side. The only place that we found corrosion is a little spot on that right side. So we gotta put a patch in there. And we gotta remove the bent gear actuator mount as well. We have to also remove the windshield and the side glasses on the cockpit. And we have to repair and refinish the left and right ice shields on the front of the nose. The more we dig into this project, the more we realize that, well, pretty much that I was crazy, and I'm realizing that I'm really glad I have a great team willing to come along on this adventure with us, and I'm glad you guys are here too. So without further ado, let's get to work.
Another day of working on the 401. We got Trey back. Awesome help. Thank you, Trey, for coming back down.
I appreciate you having me.
And we might have Rob here in a little bit. And we're going to get started and see if we can't get this thing ready for paint. Roof and sides are now probably about 90%, 85-ish. We're looking like we're making good progress here. There's some fiberglass underneath the foil here in the front that we didn't want to get stripper on because we don't want to damage the fiberglass. That stripper's some nasty stuff, and we're going to take that off and sand that with a hand sander. But yeah. Moving right along here. We got our soft bristle brushes. It's a real soft brass. And as you see, normally you can't do that with a metal brush because it poked the crap out of you. But we're going to try this and see how it works in some of these flat-headed rivets, and we'll try it on the other rivets, and hopefully this will be our ticket to cleaning them quicker and easier so we get the job done. So most of what's left in these rivets out front here are all just primer. So we'll try this lacquer thinner. Get everything nice and soft. Clean it up real quick and nice. I think we found the winner here. Now, as you can see up close, just the debris and leftover primer and what have you around each rivet. I mean, now imagine sitting there by hand trying to take all that off. These new brushes are working pretty well. Like I mentioned, these brushes are super soft. You see they are, you know, showing a little bit of scratching, but it's nothing that's gonna hurt anything. It's all superficial. But from what it was to what it is now, what do you think? And that took a very short period of time. So yeah, like I mentioned, I think we have a winner. And there you have it. 2 rows in that section that cleaned up enough that they're ready for paint. So we'll keep moving on.
Joe has been working really hard on the side of this 401, guys. Like, you can't imagine all the amount of steps. I'm sure some of you guys have worked on stripping an airplane and or other stuff. It's a ton of work, and we're going the extra mile to make sure this is done right. We actually decided we are gonna go ahead and drill out all these rivets. We're gonna remove all the glass. We're gonna replace and or renew and reseal all this glass. So including the windshield and the other side. So it's a lot of work, but we also got to get this trailer out from underneath here. So we're gonna have to put the nuts in these factory bolts, put them on them so they're just secured, not tight, but just so they're secured. And we're gonna have to jack this thing up, get this trailer out from underneath here so we can crawl underneath there and do the paint stripping underneath. So we're gonna get at this. We're gonna get this out of here. It's gonna be supported on this stand. It may not look like it's the strongest, but I assure you it's a strong stand. So, and this only weighs probably about 1,000, 1,200 pounds. So we'll be good to go. You ready to get this done, Joe?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get this out of here. That way we can keep going on getting this thing stripped. So what we ended up deciding what we're gonna do is we're gonna use the 4x4 with the eyelets that we built for the 172. And we're gonna use the same straps that we had around that we used on the 172 as well. We're gonna use that. We're gonna hook it up to the gantry crane. We're gonna lift it up. One of us is going to balance the tail, and then the other person is going to pull this out once it's high enough. I think it's gonna be a good way for us to lift it up without, you know, too much stress. Yeah, I hope. Yeah, right. I hope. So it's only Joe and I in the hangar today, so we don't have as much help, but I think with Mr. Crane here, I think we'll be all right. How are we looking here? Pretty much the same tension. A little looser. That's how I have the other side too, because of the length of the fuselage. I think we're going to need a little more tension on this back. So we'll lock these things in. All right, that looks good. Is it level? I think it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think it looks good. Yeah, again, we only got to get 2 feet up off here, get that out from underneath here, and we'll be good to go. That was quick. I was just testing it and it popped right up off the ground. Let me tighten the other side up. You got the tail, Joe? All right. Coming down. I'm gonna come down slow. We're down. All right, so that pulled off without a hitch. How's it balanced? It's not gonna, is it tail heavy? It's perfectly balanced. All right, well, now it is 100% on Our stands. So there we have it. Trailer is out. Trailer's out, and now we can get this thing out of the way, put it aside for when we have to use it. I just got here in the hangar, and Joe beat me in here this morning. Yesterday I had some stuff to do over at the shop at Mr. Dent, but man, I was surprised to see how well this thing's coming along. We've got the wing roots done on both sides. This is like tough work.
Time consuming.
Time consuming, yeah. Yeah, so we have, at this point, weeks of work into getting this thing stripped. I mean, getting the windows out, getting these are all loose. Like, this is a mountain of work. We still have the whole belly to do yet. But Joe and Keith are coming today. They're going to tackle getting the broken gear part over in the front here done. We're going to take a look at these ice shields and see what that's going to take. We're also going to look at getting this one place of corrosion that needs repaired, and that's all we found. All of that, all of that mess, all that bird stuff, that's the one part of corrosion that was really, really bad that we found, and that was it. So looking forward to getting that done. Yeah, we put a little bit of primer on here to see what she looks like, and it's looking really good. Super excited. Can't wait to get this thing painted. So we were just looking at the interior here, and you can see right here there is a bunch of corrosion, surface corrosion, but you can see there was water coming down from this window ledge here. So we are going to go ahead, we're going to remove all of these windows, which you can see here, it's got a ton of rivets. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to remove all these windows, we're going to take all these rivets out. That'll give us a chance to clean everything out, to double check for corrosion, make sure it's good, because the last thing we want to do is get the beautiful MJ aircraft interior in the 401 and then have moisture ruin it. So excited to see this thing coming along. This has been an insane ride. Originally, we were just going to see if we could get this thing started. Because of you guys, instead of just starting it, we're restoring it. We're going to like crazy lengths to make sure this thing is amazing. We have them all out, but this is glued on here. Yes, there's like black tape on the back side of it. And it looks like there's sealant. It's Pro Seal. It looks like this one's sealed really well, which sucks to go through all that work just to see that it's sealed really well. But you kind of just got to do it. I mean, that's a ton of rivets. That took a long while to drill all those out. So we got all the rivets on the right side of the fuselage for the windows. They're still glued in. We're gonna get a heat gun, and I have an inductor, and I think Joe has an inductor here that heats the metal up, and will also then heat the glue up, and we should be able to get these out. It looks like they weren't sealing on the front side of the window. That's where I see kind of the streaks coming from inside, and all of them have just a little bit of leakage. So it's gonna be real good to get these all sealed up, 100%. Good as new. All right, so this is the last retaining ring that we have to remove. So all the retaining rings are now off of the 401. We have all of the rivets drilled out. I think I did a pretty good job. We'll see when I go to install these again. We can get these windows out of here. We can get them polished up, get them all cleaned up, get them set back in, re-riveted, make sure they're 100%. So on today's menu, we have Christmas dinner leftovers. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love leftovers. So, and I got turkey for days, got some good cooked ham, got some homemade gravy, and some mashed potatoes. Looks like we're a little low in mashed potatoes, but so Joe and I are the only ones in the hangar today, so we are going to have this all to ourselves. We're gonna eat good. We'll eat good all this week. Actually, I have a whole bunch more leftovers from Christmas. So yeah, and then starting New Year's, we're gonna be going on a little bit of a diet here at Rebuild Rescue. I might even start working out again. We'll see. It's a lot of work. A lot of work to do out here. So I don't know. But for now, we're gonna enjoy all this good food. We're gonna enjoy some cake and some cookies, and then we're gonna get out there and we're gonna get back at it.
Jason's popped all the rivets on the back windows here, and now we have the trim rings on the front, but we got screw heads and we have nuts on the back side, so we're going to work on getting all those out. Obviously, I mean, there's probably 60 to 80 per side, so it holds it good and tight. So if the glue were to ever fail, that window's not going to come out. It's kind of a fail safe. Down to the ones that I can't get any power tools to. Well, as you see, this is the right side. We got all the screws out the whole way around the window. A couple loose rivets down here. Remove the trim here. But the window is able to come out now at this point. And the same with the left side. Have all the screws out all the way around. So how about, I'd say at least 4 hours, if not longer, just in removing all those little screws. It's a screw head with a nut on the back side, so it makes it a little tricky. You gotta hold a wrench, turn a screwdriver. Some I was able to use my cordless ratchet, but that's a lot of screws for just the retainers for the windows. Well, I was over in the hangar working on the 401, and we received a phone call for a rescue mission. Sam's wife, she has a flat tire and she's sitting alongside the road. We don't just rescue different vehicles and what have you, but we also rescue people in need. So we're on our way, and we're gonna see what we can do for her. I grabbed a box full of tools, and we're gonna go help Sam's wife this morning. Definitely got a flat tire.
No doubt about that.
She's flat, so we're gonna take a look, see if we got a hole in there, or what the issue is, and fix her up. Well, we had 2 flats, so we can jack this side up. Air was seeping through the bead, so we're gonna let that pump sit for a minute. It's showing 40 pounds, and it'll tell us if it's leaking or not. If it's not leaking, at least fast enough that it'll be an issue, I think she'll be all right to make it home. This side was also flat. We didn't have to jack it up though. Just threw some air in it, and she's back up. So I think what might have happened was with the cold weather, lost a lot of pressure, then coming around this windy road that she was coming down, I think it might have just pulled from the bead enough that it dropped the air right out off the bead. That's why it's very important that, especially with temperature changes, and we had some below 10 degrees days and nights, but you really want to keep an eye on your tire pressures, because there's cases like that coming downhill around the corner, and it sucked the beads right off the rim and left all her air pressure out.
This thing is absolutely crazy. Like the amount of work that has gone into it to get it this far. I didn't honestly. I didn't have a huge amount of respect for what it takes to get it here until I've done with these. I've done cars before.
Yeah, this
Guys,
is like
look,
6 cars.
This is like 6 buses. So today, one of the things that Joe and Keith are going to focus on, they're going to focus on, what's this called, an ice shield?
Yes.
It's like an ice shield. So this is for when you're sledding in a 401. No, just kidding. This keeps it from getting dented up because of the slope of the nose. It's where it's going to impact, right?
No, it's from the props. Slings off the prop. Comes off the prop, but when you hit the prop the ice, bam.
Right, so it hits right here.
You don't want holes in here.
No. Well, we kind of have a hole, a corroded hole underneath there.
Yeah. Well, that's from the birds.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
not
it's from the birds.
ice.
No, So we got to get part of this peeled back. There's a little bit of corrosion we got to fix. We're really super surprised that there hasn't been a lot more corrosion, personally. I mean, I don't know what you guys think.
I'm surprised.
But, yeah. We also have the gear, which we're really lucky we found, because that, if we might have missed that, we might have had a gear extension problem at some point. You know what I mean? So we tore all that apart. We found that. That's bent up. It's a little support piece. We're going to pull that out. That's going to get replaced as well.
Yes, it will. I'm going to work on that side. He's going to work on this side.
All right.
You work on getting him coffee.
Oh, yeah, you want some coffee? I'll get you some coffee.
Coffee.
I'm going to get me some more coffee, too. It's like my 4th cup this morning.
Yep. It's hard. There it goes.
See how Keith likes his Rebuild Rescue coffee. Hey Keith, see how you like this stuff. I couldn't give it to you in like that paper cup you had. Like that was just not right. How is it? 1 to 10.
That's a 10.
Is it?
That's good, yeah.
Yeah, and that like I'm telling you, I like love coffee, so I literally flew to Costa Rica to test out a plantation's beans of whether I liked them or not to make that coffee. So that's good. So you like your Rebuild Rescue coffee? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm gonna give you a bag. I'll send a bag home with you then.
Excellent.
Yeah, awesome. Man after my own heart.
Doesn't look like she's sliding through there. I think we'll be pulling that other piece out. Joe, I got a job for you. I need somebody on the other side down there.
Yeah. I gotta get those gear doors out, and that's something I can't do myself.
Well, yeah, we can pop them out of the way too if you want to do that now.
Okay. What do you got there, Jason?
So I got all excited because I saw a cookie container, and considering it was Christmas, I thought maybe Joe and Keith brought over some cookies. I opened it up, and it's like a cookie jar full of like thousands of rivets, which, granted, we need thousands of rivets, but I was really excited to eat a cookie. Darn.
Sorry about your disappointment.
Yeah, right.
So we had one little corrosion hole down in the bottom of the front of the nose here, and that's what Keith's working at now. He's making a nice little patch. And what would you call that? Doubler?
Just a patch.
But that's going to fix that hole and seal everything back up. One more step of the millions that we got to do. But yeah, we got one little hole right there. Try to get patched up. And
No, I tweak these edges a little bit so when it's riveted, it'll sit nice and flush against the skin. And I'm going to put this Pro Seal where the corrosion holes are. Schmutz it down.
there was quite a variety of smash rivets, is what I would call them.
Do these flat ones first
I see.
and not break this.
Okay, well, that should be fine.
I'm ready, hit it. More. That'll do. All right, hit it. It's good. Hit it. Just a tap more. One more. Harder. All right. Hit it. Hit it. A little more. A little more. Just a hair. Alright. Hit it. A little more. Hit it. Okay. Just a little more. Okay.
Wait, this thing has a part number on it,
It's right there.
so we can like order.
Yep.
Man, did it break this and everything?
Yeah. Yeah, cracked through this rivet. I finished it off, but
Wow.
this is a spare. This was fixed before.
Well, it did have a gear up landing.
If you look at the rivets,
Oh yeah,
It
look at
barely
that.
even bucked.
It mutilated it.
Yes, it did.
It didn't like.
No, it just didn't care.
Yeah.
Steel against aluminum, aluminum loses.
Yeah,
Every
big time. That like the gearbox for the gear attract is like
Huge.
I'm gonna find like an old gearbox and use it for something.
Well, we got Joe and Keith here again today to give me a hand. We're working on getting all these windows out. A lot of glue to be cut, a lot of screws still to be removed. I got started, got a good bit of the screws out a while, but only half, maybe half of what
we're
need.
here to help. We're here to turn screws while he rolls that camera for a while. Is what's going to happen here.
I'm going to try and help as much as I can, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh my.
Looks like fun there, Joe.
Yeah. Arms are getting tired already.
Instead of a rivet, we're going to a screw here with a lock nut. And that's going to make it a little bit easier if that would ever have to come off again. We got Joe right here. He actually got the first window out.
Well, no, that window's out. It just didn't come out yet.
Yeah. We still got to drill that one out. That wasn't drilled yet for that emergency escape hatch.
Oh, that's the other window. That's not even here right now. That doesn't count. Not worried about that. Of course, if my scraper wasn't 5 inches wide, you'd be able to. It's like an inch wide, it'd be perfect. I'm not exactly prepared for this job. A lot of work for a little tiny piece of plastic.
Yeah. That's not a window. Another window. I think we had a couple bugs in down under the windshield there, right, the dash. So by looking here, it looks like that side window is a lot of the structure here in the front.
My Grumman canoe was built tougher than this thing.
There we have one half of the windshield and the side window underneath that. Well, now that the windows are out of the 401, I'll have to go back, clean up inside each and every one of the rivet holes. And also just the very edge, which I sanded lightly already, but I gotta clean the rest of that paint off. The edges is the first thing to fail on a paint job. So if you don't have the edges perfect, moisture can get underneath there, it'll lift, and when it lifts, it just starts to, you know, carry and continue. Keith went ahead and finished up the screw installation on the fiberglass. I'll be able to come back, and any holes that are a little jimmied up, or this one he didn't use, it wasn't needed. There's 3 right there in that tight little area, so I mean that's plenty to hold. But yeah, we got that buttoned up, so that's one more project that I could get finished up. There's a bunch of little spots, you know, I'll have to put just a little dab of filler in. And also, up on the roof, we were able to get most of the antennas off. Now I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. All the sealant that was around them. Man, it's a real flexible area right there, man. Holy cow. But we need to figure out which of those are being put back on. But with the new avionics, we don't need as many antennas, which is nice. So whatever we don't need, we're gonna have to make patches for, and that way it's ready to go to the paint shop.
All right, guys, so we've come such a long way. It's been about 3 weeks since we started writing that whiteboard. Is it 3 or is it 2, Joe?
I lost track.
You lost track? Like, I have no idea, but it's like 11 o'clock. We're exhausted, but we got the windows out. These side windows are out. We got all the paints off of it. This front glass is all out. In these ice shields, these things are all fixed. Joe, you did an awesome job on these. The corrosion, as you guys saw, Keith and Joe were in here. We got that corrosion taken care of. We have the gear mount over here, the actuator mount. So glad we found that. That's removed. Have one on order. Pretty simple install. We'll put a doubler on underneath there. This project's really getting this project's getting done, guys, and we're exhausted, but it's looking really good. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys for being part of the rescue crew. Take care.